Woman shares a cute family video on social media. The next day, the police knock on her door. A cute family picnic video Nicole posts online throws her family into chaos when cops arrest her husband the next day. Stranded with a teen daughter and a little son, she must fight all odds to clear her husband's name. But what will she do when she realizes her husband is not who he claims to be? The golden afternoon sun shone warmly over the park. Nicole sat on a blanket with her children, 15-year-old Harper and 10-year-old Tom, while her husband, 49-year-old Kevin, flipped burgers on a grill nearby. "All right, Dad, show us your burger flipping skills," Harper called out with innocent mischief in her eyes. While capturing the moment on her phone, Nicole chuckled at her daughter's words. "Mom, focus your camera on him and the burgers. We need to show this to the world. Dad, we want to see your best flip ever," Harper grinned. "Wait a minute, young lady. What do you mean by showing this to the world?" Nicole asked. "Oh, Mom, you're so behind. This is the 21st century. All my friends' moms have social media accounts where they post crazy stuff," Harper exclaimed, blowing a bubble gum. "Let me show you how to make an account." Nicole wasn't very familiar with the online world. "I thought we wanted to go back in time with picnics and parks," she said innocently. "Here, your new account is all set," Harper showed Nicole her phone. "Now let's click a nice picture of you to go on your profile. Mom, say cheese." Nicole forced a smile and struck a vague pose under the backdrop of a maple tree. Harper snapped a picture and immediately posted it on the page. Nicole was all smiles when she shared her first post online, a cute and heartwarming video of the picnic. The next morning, Nicole was awakened by the sound of police sirens and a sharp knock at the door. Opening it, she was confronted by Detective Reynolds and his team. "Mrs. Anderson? Recognize this?" the detective asked sternly, showing her the social media post of the picnic. "Yes, that's me. That's from our family picnic," Nicole replied, confused. "Do you know him?" Detective Reynolds pointed to Kevin in the footage. "He's my husband, Kevin Y." "Is something wrong?" Nicole's heart raced. "Your husband is a suspect in a case dating back 10 years. We have a warrant to search your premises," Detective Reynolds informed her. Nicole was shocked. I don't understand, Detective. My husband couldn't be involved in a crime," she stuttered. "He wouldn't even hurt." Detective Reynolds showed her the warrant. "We have a search warrant, Mom. Please cooperate, or we'll have to take action against you for not cooperating." Shocked, Nicole let the officers in. Her home, once a haven of peace, now felt cold and foreboding as they searched. Harper and Tom, awakened by the chaos, clung to their mother, confused and scared. "Your husband's been a suspect for 10 years, Mrs. Anderson. Your post led us to him," Detective Reynolds explained while the other cops marched to Nicole's bedroom. "I don't understand. It was just a picnic video. Kevin isn't who you think he is," Nicole stammered, disbelief and fear mingling in her voice. Her words fell on deaf ears as Kevin was handcuffed and led outside. "I'm innocent, Nicole. They're framing me," he yelled. Nicole's eyes brimmed with tears. "This is a mistake. Kevin couldn't have done this," she pleaded with the detective. But Detective Reynolds was unmoved. "We have evidence Mrs. Anderson stolen items from the past and an eyewitness from the bank that was robbed. We're yet to know what he did with the other stolen items, most of all, that diamond necklace, a rare piece worth hundreds of thousands of dollars." The air thickened with desperation and the loud cries of the kids as Nicole watched Kevin leave with the cops. The next morning, the Anderson household was shrouded in gloom. Nicole prepared breakfast, her children's eyes frequently darting to the door, hoping for their father's return. "Mom, let me stay with you. I want to help save Dad," Harper begged. "Sweetheart, you and Tom need to go to school." "I'll handle this," Nicole said, her mind racing with fear. With a heavy heart, Harper took Tom to the bus stop, bracing for the taunts they'd face. Some kids from the neighborhood attended the same school as Harper and Tom and were aware of Kevin's arrest. Meanwhile, Nicole faced cold stares from neighbors as she left for the lawyer's office. "Mrs. Anderson, your husband is accused of a series of robberies. The evidence is strong against him," the lawyer, Mr. Morgan, explained somberly. "But Kevin is innocent. He's being framed, Nicole insisted, her frustration evident. We'll aim to reduce the sentence. Proving his innocence will be difficult, Mr. Morgan said flatly. No, we have to prove he's innocent. He didn't do this, Nicole argued. It's an uphill battle, Miss Anderson. Reducing the sentence is our best shot, Mr. Morgan stated bluntly, pointing to the file containing incriminating evidence against Kevin. He's indeed guilty. This is a setup, Nicole said firmly. Everything's been going fine in our lives for 17 years, and suddenly they claim Kevin's a decade-old robber based on a social media post. Convince your husband to confess. It's in his best interest, the lawyer advised. Nicole's anger escalated. You're siding with the police, Mr. Morgan, aren't you? The court assigned you for free, so obviously your lack of interest in this case doesn't surprise me. Would you fight harder if I could write you a 5-figure check, she fumed. A dead silence hung in the air as Nicole grabbed her bag and stormed out of the lawyer's office. Her and Kevin's accounts were frozen due to suspicion, and Nicole had no choice but to accept the free legal assistance to secure Kevin's release. At home, the atmosphere was somber. Nicole was torn, her faith in Kevin shaken. Mom, what did the lawyer say? Dad's innocent, right? Harper inquired, her eyes filled with hope and worry. Nicole couldn't utter a word. She gazed out the window, unable to share the grim reality of the lawyer's advice. At the trial, as Mr. Morgan aimed to reduce Kevin's sentence, Nicole couldn't stay silent. Your Honor, she cried, standing up. I need to speak. The courtroom fell into a hush as the judge granted her the floor. I cannot entrust my husband's future to a lawyer whose goal is only to reduce his sentence, Nicole declared. I'll be representing my husband from this point forward. Mr. Morgan, taken aback, tried to intervene, but Nicole cut him off. Kevin is innocent, and I won't let him be painted as a criminal. Facing the court, she stated, my husband is innocent. He's a devoted father and husband, not a thief. Mrs. Anderson, can you be more specific? The judge asked. Nicole locked eyes with the jury. The police want you to believe Kevin's a criminal, but I know him better than anyone. This evidence is fabricated, orchestrated to tear our family apart. Your Honor, can we truly trust the supposed eyewitness from a decade ago? Memories fade, details blur, she argued, her voice echoing with conviction. Nicole fought valiantly to prove her husband's innocence throughout the trial, which went on for weeks. But despite her impassioned plea, Nicole couldn't save Kevin. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Anderson, guilty of the charges presented, the judge eventually declared. The sentence is 30 years in prison. Nicole wondered how she'd tell Harper and Tom their father was going to prison. Before heading home, she hailed a taxi and arrived at the prison to meet Kevin. Their tearful reunion, but through the cold bars, was heart-wrenching. I fought Kevin, but the system ... They didn't listen, she whispered helplessly. You did your best, Nicole. But sometimes the system is unforgiving, Kevin replied, his eyes reflecting the pain of their shattered lives. We need to fight back, Nicole said. There's got to be some way ... someone who can help us. Kevin's face lit up with a glimmer of hope. Nicole, listen. Jet, my old friend, he knows the legal system and has some connections. He's our last chance. Contact him. Nicole's spirit lifted at the mention of Jet. I'll contact Jet. Where can I find him? She asked, determination in her eyes. Nicole sped through the night to Jet's cottage, determined to help her husband. Arriving, she knocked on the door with a racing heart. I'm Nicole, Kevin's wife, she told Jet as he appeared in the doorway. He's in prison for something he didn't do. He said you could help. Moved by his old friendship with Kevin, Jet let her in. I'll help, but it's risky, he warned. Nicole nodded. Anything for Kevin, what's the plan? Jet proposed a daring escape. Nicole hesitated but agreed, desperate to save Kevin. A week later, after reassuring Harper and Tom she'd be back with a surprise, Nicole visited Kevin in prison. Sitting across from him in the visitation room, she slid him a hairpin. Jet said this would work. Free your hands. We need to wait for the right moment, she whispered. Time crawled, each second feeling like an eternity, until a faint fire alarm echoed through the prison. It was orchestrated by Jet, who sneaked into the premises and set the empty warehouse where old items were stored on fire. Amid the chaos, an officer approached Nicole and Kevin through the automatic door. "Man, follow the crowd toward the exit, and you, follow me," he barked. Kevin and Nicole exchanged a glance. Before she could think of what was about to happen, Kevin knocked down the officer, rendering him unconscious. He dragged the unconscious officer into a dim-lit corridor and swiftly swapped clothes to conceal his identity. "Jet said he'll be waiting for us at the entrance," Nicole said. "We can't take the entrance. Guards and cops would be there. I know another way." "Come with me," Kevin urged, leading Nicole down the deserted corridor. They fled through a secret passage, narrowly escaping through a barbed wire barricade. Outside, Jet found them. "Hop in," quick, he urged, opening his car door. Nicole and Kevin drove off with Jet, their hearts racing with a mix of joy and apprehension. After Kevin's surprise return, he urged his family to pack their things. "We're leaving town tonight," he told his children. Nicole was a bit shocked. "Kevin, I thought we were going to stay at Jet's farmhouse and prove your innocence." "Why are we leaving town?" she questioned. "We don't have time, Nicole." "It's not safe here," Kevin replied, visibly stressed. He hurried to the attic, and Nicole followed him, only to gasp in horror as she watched her husband remove a diamond necklace from a hidden spot in the attic. You stole this?" she asked, shocked. "Yes, for Harper's heart surgery," Kevin confessed. "Look, I know I was a thief, a bad guy, but I quit that life after Harper's surgery, honey. I handed over all the stolen items to my boss, but I kept a few stolen items and hid them in the house, hoping they would be useful for our future. And this necklace is among them," Kevin confessed. Nicole knew her next step would break her family, but she didn't have a choice. As per Kevin's plan, they met Jet at a remote spot for fake documents, after which they'd flee the town. "I hope you turned off all your cell phones to avoid being tracked," Jet said. Kevin's eyes landed on Nicole's phone. "Don't worry, I threw the SIM. My phone is off," she said. But she'd lied. Suddenly, police cruisers arrived. Detective Reynolds and his team emerged and surrounded them with their guns drawn. Well, look who decided to show up," Detective Reynolds declared. "Thanks for texting us the location and making our job easier, Miss Anderson." Nicole watched in despair as Kevin and Jet were arrested. "It's going to be okay. Mommy is here for you," she whispered and hugged her children, tears streaming down her face. She knew she'd be charged as accessory to the crime, but she was proud of following the right path in the end.